The best free Steam games. The games in this video not only offer a diverse range of PC games and Steam Deck experiences, as each of them will cost you zero money. It may seem too good to be true, but the reality is that many games have adopted the free-to-play approach in recent years. I've chosen the best free games Steam has to offer, and none of them will come close to your wallet. Prior to its recent release, The Finals was the most wishlisted game on Steam via WePC, so this multiplayer shooter will be a go-to for many PC gamers on Steam in 2024. It pits teams of 3 against each other in a race against the clock to secure, deliver, and deposit cash from map locations, and features a destructible environment. If you decide to dive into this gorgeous-looking and fast-paced competitive shooter, expect lots of grapple hooking, rocket launching, wall shattering, and to-the-knuckle clutch finishes. F.O.A.D is an extraction shooter that has a mix of familiar visual styles popularized by the likes of Fortnite and Borderlands. In it, you must battle your way through monsters to uncover the treasure, then escape the island without losing your booty to the enemy teams. With a mix of melee weapons to slug players and beasts with powers that raise barriers to protect yourself from danger, and a whole arsenal of weird and wonderful guns, there's a lot to like here. It also entered early access relatively recently, so now's the best time to jump on board. There was a time when PUBG was a paid game on Steam, but ever since going free, it has risen to be one of the best titles. The game kind of birthed and popularized the battle royale genre, where the players drop in the middle of a massive map. What comes next is mayhem. The players must then eliminate others and come out on top as the only survivors. So arm your weapons and drop in. War Thunder is a hugely detailed military MMO that's easy to grasp but features an enormous degree of depth for those players who want to master its system. Whether you're into ground, air, or naval combat, there's something on offer, with dozens of vehicles from some of the world's most advanced armies making for epic dogfights, tense tank skirmishes, and pitched warship battles. Paid DLC offers a means to unlock new vehicles faster, but if you're prepared to truly master the basics, you might never need anything else. Yes, in case you missed it, Overwatch 2 is now available to play for free on Steam. Once a Battle.net-only title, the ever-popular class-based ability shooter is now available on the world's biggest PC gaming platform. Overwatch 2 is a 5 vs 5 competitive multiplayer shooter featuring a range of heroes, characters, for every kind of playstyle. Whether you prefer to duck and dive, sit back and snipe, heal your allies, or even get all up in the enemy's face with a sledgehammer, Overwatch 2 has you covered. Just remember, you can't go it alone. Great teamwork is key to victory. World of Tanks has been around for over a decade now, but it shows no signs of slowing down anytime soon. Wargaming's MMO features over 800 vehicles, each one carefully designed to take on other tanks on the battlefield. Players have access to 5 different types of vehicle: light tanks, medium tanks, heavy tanks, tank destroyers, and SPGs, self-propelled guns. In large-scale battles, teams must work together as a well-oiled machine in order to crush the opposing team. If you enjoy the tactical side of tank warfare, World of Tanks is perfect for you, and if you like gaming on the go, there's a separate mobile version to enjoy too. Smite is a third-person MOBA that pits deities from a dozen pantheons against one another in tight 5 vs 5, team-based combat. Every playable character has a basic attack, a passive trait, and 4 special abilities that can be used strategically during a fight. Like other MOBAs, Smite tasks you with destroying your opponent's base and towers. Still, its unique third-person perspective makes combat surprisingly dynamic. Looking for the next big open-world action RPG hit after Genshin Impact? Well, look no further than Tower of Fantasy. While the general formula may not exactly be original, this anime game offers a new take on a style of game that resonated with millions of players. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? Tower of Fantasy features a sci-fi setting, with a story that focuses on humans living on the planet Ida hundreds of years in the future. What you do there is up to you. Want to gallop across the countryside atop a robotic unicorn? Want to do battle against monsters with your friends? Want to gather ingredients so you can follow recipes and become a culinary expert? This game will keep you occupied for a long time because there's so much to do. While SCP isn't one of the most played games out there, it certainly is a cult classic. Standing for Secure, Contain, Protect, SCP is a concept paranormal organization that holds supernatural anomalies. Destiny 2, you and your crew play as guardians, immortal warriors who travel the solar system taking down interplanetary threats. This sci-fi shooter has seen many changes since its 2017 launch, such as moving to a free-to-play model, adding the Destiny Content Vault, and increasing the planet count. Destiny 2 is one of the most action-heavy MMOs that you'll find on PC, so it could be your bag if you dig Call of Duty. For the longest time, this was one free PC game that you couldn't download through Steam, but now it's there to reach a whole new audience. No doubt you've heard of it before, as Plarium, the company behind it, employs a rather aggressive advertising campaign, but there's a reason so many YouTubers choose Raid as a sponsor. It's fun and addictive. The game is all about building up a team of champions to face endless foes in turn-based battles. The champions you collect range from comical skeletons to edgy reinterpretations of folk figures. There's even a real-life wrestler in the mix, and honing just the right team for each unique challenge requires a lot of thought and strategy. It caters to those who like to play alone, with tons of CPU enemies, as well as those who prefer more competitive games, as you can also put your team against the teams of other players around the world. If you're looking for a new rabbit hole to lose yourself in, this could be it. Warframe is for the real gear progression lover. It's for those who want to spend hour after hour engaging in slick, fast-paced sci-fi combat to farm that next upgrade. With a full-fledged story, side missions, and outer space theme, there's plenty of thematic and gameplay crossover with Destiny 2 here. But for fans of the combat grind, especially those who want something a little more fast-paced, Warframe is top of the list. If you want a robust and engrossing multiplayer RPG that doesn't require a monthly subscription, give Guild Wars 2 a try. Free accounts come with a few caveats. Mind you, you have limited character slots, mail, and chat, but it's a fantastic start considering the price of admission. If you want more, Guild Wars has enjoyed numerous expansions over the years, which you can purchase piecemeal or as bundles. There are a few contenders when it comes to great PC platform fighters, but Brawlhalla fits the bill while costing you nothing. Regular seasonal updates, as well as loads of different fighters, weapons, and gadgets ensure it always feels fresh across both online and local multiplayer. Real money purchases can be used to buy new characters as well as cosmetic items, but as far as free Steam games go, this one is hard to beat. Imagine Multiversus, but better and for free. Even though Halo Infinite's campaign is locked behind a paywall, nothing is stopping you from experiencing the nostalgic multiplayer part of the game. Halo Infinite multiplayer carries over its legacy as one of the most played mass player experiences. It brings back all the classic game modes, including Slayer, Capture the Flag, Oddball, and many more. So dive into the Halo multiplayer just like you did before. Funny free Steam games aren't all that common, but CRSED, which started life as a joke spin-off for squad-based MMO shooter Enlisted, earned its place on this list through constant quality updates and its madcap sense of humor. While you'll spend most of a match in PUBG tracking down a hefty set of plate armor in CRSED, or, as it used to be known, Cuisine Royale, you just need to find a kitchen, strap some metal cookware over your vital organs, and you're good to go. Regular content updates also keep things fresh and funny, with everything from historic figures to superpowered demons being rotated in and out of the free-to-play Battle Royale game. Hi-Rez Studios' take on the hero shooter will be very familiar to those of you familiar with the genre, but Paladins does offer a few new ideas. Chief among those is its deck system, which allows you to wade into battle wielding 5 cards that augment each of its characters' unique abilities. New arrivals are regularly making their way to the game, and there's also a well-maintained esports scene. Real money can be used to unlock cosmetic items to customize your favorite heroes and to unlock new characters more quickly. It's a great free alternative if you aren't willing to shell out for Overwatch 2, but it's so much more than a free dupe. For most people, Counter-Strike 2 will seem essentially the same as Counter-Strike Global Offensive, the ever-popular competitive multiplayer first-person shooter. If we were cynical, we might say that Valve pulled an Overwatch 2 on us, but we're not, so we won't. This isn't a bad thing, though. There was nothing really wrong with CS:GO, so the changes CS2 brought are like the icing on the cake. Counter-Strike, for those unfamiliar with the franchise, is one of the world's most popular esports. The main game mode has one team of 5 pitted against another to either plant and defend a bomb, or defend bomb sites and defuse the bomb should it be planted. CS oozes strategy out of every pixel, and to become one of the best you need to develop some mighty fine mechanical skills, too. If you're up for the challenge, there's no more competitive of a mainstream shooter than this today. Dota 2 is an excellent MOBA, and one that's exclusive to the Steam platform. The game pits two teams of 5 players against one another, with the goal of destroying the rival squad's base. Dota 2's play systems have a steep learning curve, so you'll have plenty of content to explore. All heroes are available from the jump, so you can keep your cash in your wallet unless you really want to deck out your characters with new skins. There are plenty of auto-battlers out there, but Dota Underlords is easily the best one on Steam, as well as being one of the best free games on the platform. A spin-off of Dota 2, it puts you in control of a team of heroes from the famous MOBA, who'll battle it out for supremacy against 7 foes until only 1 player remains. What sets this offering apart are the Underlords themselves, which each bestow their own unique strengths upon your team. Auto-battlers can feel daunting at first, but they're also great forums for experimentation with plenty of depth. And if you fancy checking out the place where it all began, the original Dota Auto Chest is still playable within the Dota 2 client. Those who just want to pilot robots in destructive battles will find few options out there, especially ones that are free. However, there's a good chance that you'll find something appealing as you blast your way through the 14 maps on offer in War Robots. Battle with your choice of robot, armed to the teeth with all sorts of guns and explosive ordnance in 6v6 multiplayer battles. Do you want your mech to be a sneaky sniper lurking on hilltops? Or perhaps you fancy rushing your foes with a nimble skirmisher? With 50+ robots spanning across 2 classes, it's up to you to find the best destructive mech. Apex Legends was one of the first mainstream games to succeed at doing something new with the Battle Royale formula, and half a decade later it's still going strong. This fast-paced shooter puts you as a duo or trio against a swarm of other teams, all competing for survival in typical BR fashion. Apex has a truly distinctive style and gets that adrenaline pumping in a way I've not felt in other BR games. If you live for those clutch chug-a-shield or die kinds of moments, Apex Legends is the free Steam game for you. It's not technically a free game, but there's enough on offer within just the trial version of Final Fantasy XIV that it'll keep you busy far longer than many of the other games on this list. As well as offering access to the base game, also known as A Realm Reborn, the expanded trial includes the Heaven's Ward expansion and raised the level cap from 35 all the way to 60. There are other restrictions, like limits to character creation and a currency cap, but they're a small price to pay for a lengthy no-obligation look at one of the most interesting modern MMOs out there. Lost Ark is a top-down ARPG-style MMORPG that caused quite a stir upon its release into the Western market in 2022. When it launched in the West, it received massive attention from the MMO community largely thanks to its polish and slick combat, think Diablo, but more of a proper MMO. It was already a hit in Korea upon its launch in 2019, and it's been a hit in the West, too, with frequent bouts of record-setting player counts. It's an incredibly well-rounded MMO, and people are clearly appreciating that. Lush combat, immersive world, great story, and tons of content. It's a must-try for any fan of ARPG and MMO genres. The third installment in the medieval series might be the new king on the chopping block, but Crusader Kings 2 remains a serious competitor thanks to its mammoth quantities of DLC. The base game, which puts you in charge of your own corner of Europe at the end of the Dark Ages, is entirely free to play and offers hundreds of hours of map-based diplomacy and warfare. Without the subscription service, which offers access to the 13 post-launch expansions for $4.99 a month, it's easily one of the best free PC games as well. While there are heaps of quality tank games available on Steam, prospective admirals have far fewer options. Fortunately, then, there's World of Warships, which is not only one of the very best naval warfare simulation games but also a free Steam game, with over 500 of the titular warships for players to unlock. From destroyers and cruisers to battleships and aircraft carriers, players can rest assured they won't run out of new toys to aim for. Not that you'll notice the grind. The multiplayer naval battles of World of Warships are pure spectacle. Albion Online, a top-down sandbox MMO, hits so many genre checkmarks that it's hard to know where to begin. You want to calmly gather crafting ingredients to sell? Yep, Albion's for you. Or maybe engage in some high-risk, lose gear on death, PvP combat? It has you covered there, too. Maybe you want to spend your time snapping up cheap auctions and reselling for profit, or completing dungeons and leveling up your gear. Albion Online delivers in all cases. The main draw to Albion Online, though, is its RuneScape-esque, sandbox-style world, where most things are player-driven and there's no defined goal. You create your own goals, though the game can point you in the right general direction. You can even create your own unique kind of character by leveling up different kinds of gear. Gear is what mainly dictates your playstyle rather than preset classes. Oh, and it supports mobile crossplay, too, so you don't even have to put an end to your in-game progression when you step away from your PC. If you've been looking for a way to capture the feeling of defending Helm's Deep since 2002, Conqueror's Blade is likely to be the closest you can get. The tactical medieval MMO puts your unique warlord in control of entire armies. Using varied abilities, devastating siege weapons, and your own sense of cunning, engage in huge battles with up to 29 other players. Premium membership limits the XP and gold grind, and paid DLC offers new armor and more siege weapons. Path of Exile is one of those top-down ARPGs that offers something so unique that it, or its successor, Path of Exile 2, can be expected to stick around for a very long time. While other ARPGs have their own merits, Path of Exile's is its complexity, flexibility, and insanely fun experimental builds and abilities. And with a steady stream of new seasons of content and ways to progress and improve your character, it's also a great game for those looking for a game to invest themselves in long-term. Crossout is a post-apocalyptic MMO action game in which you craft and build monstrously sized machines and use them to bash others in explosive online games. So it is basically what you used to do during your childhood with Lego, but with the magic of computers. You can craft a wide variety of vehicles, from small, nimble buggies to rugged off-roaders, with an arsenal of weapons just as large. Get your murderous hands on power drills, machine guns, and rocket launchers, or even stealth generators if you fancy a quieter approach. With an arsenal like that, it is easy to see why Crossout is one of the best free Steam games. As you fight, you build your reputation with your chosen Crossout faction. In PvP or PvE, where you can even fight user-created bosses, engaging in some good OL shooting will grant you new parts and blueprints to continue your vehicular crusade. If you need a hand getting started, just consult our Crossout Beginner's Guide. Following along in the horror/creepy genre, Unturned is another one of the best free Steam games, except it combines zombies and management. You are a survivor in this pixel block game left to fend for yourself after a disaster. Armed with the bare minimum, you must forage, build, and arm yourself against the zombie threats around the world. You will encounter players whom you can eliminate or work alongside to win. RuneScape has been around for so long and is such a well-known game that it probably needs no introduction. Whether you're playing OSRS, old-school RuneScape, or the more modern RuneScape 3, traversing the world of Gielinor in this MMORPG is sure to set off those nostalgia alarms. Much like Albion Online, RuneScape is a top-down sandbox MMO. There are plenty of things to keep you occupied in both modern RuneScape and OSRS, such as quests, skill grinding, exploration, trades in the player-driven economy, PvP combat, and more. Neverwinter is the MMO take on Wizards of the Coast's genre-defining tabletop RPG Dungeons & Dragons, taking you to the Forgotten Realms and pitting you against hobgoblins, kobolds, and much worse, and a pretty world to explore. There's a bit of a push for players to buy things in the in-game store, but you can do everything without paying a penny. That even includes playing the frequent expansions, such as the recent Jewel of the North update that adds a new bard class and refines the leveling system. Having started life as a total conversion mod for the original Half-Life, Cry of Fear was released as a standalone game in 2013. It's built on some aging tech, but it makes the most of Valve's Gold SRC engine, making for a brilliantly paced and deeply unnerving horror shooter. It's up there with the best free Steam games not only because it's free, but because the atmosphere is so tense that you'll forget you paid nothing for it. The fact that Team Fortress 2 launched in 2007 and is still going strong says it all. It's a phenomenally fun game, unassuming, unadulterated fun. TF2, a multiplayer FPS game, set the standard for many of our gaming experiences today, with its class-based team combat, and it still holds up today as a great team-based ability shooter, making it deserving of a place in the PC Gaming Hall of Fame. Whether you want to master the rocket jump and direct hit air rockets, set enemies ablaze with a flamethrower, deploy and defend sentries, sneak behind enemy lines as an invisible spy, or anything in between, Team Fortress 2 has you covered. Star Trek Online is an MMO set in the unmistakable sci-fi world of the Starship Enterprise, where you are given a ship and a crew and sent off on sci-fi adventures that feel authentically Star Trek. Though it's ever-aging, it continues to get regular free updates that add new, elaborate episodic missions, additional gear, seasonal events, and even the crew of Deep Space Nine in Star Trek Online. The story also has a tangible impact on the evolving galaxy. While there is a cash shop and premium ships, the game continues to be extremely generous toward free players, allowing them freedom in their exploration of the final frontier. Deceit is yet another team-based game, but instead flips the concept over its head. This multiplayer first-person shooter puts you in the shoes of either a survivor or an infected soul. And while this may sound like Among Us, believe me, it gets a whole lot darker. Any good list of games should include a kart or racing game. Disney Speedstorm might not be the most challenging or complex game on this list, but it sure is good fun. Take on the role of some of your favorite Disney characters, don stylish racing gear, and slip into the seat of a speedy motor as you race around Disney and Pixar-themed tracks. This free Steam game changes seasonally, with new characters and courses being added all the time, along with its seasonal battle pass. While you can pay for additional content, Disney Speedstorm is enjoyable and competitive without parting with a single cent. And there you have it, the very best games available on Steam that will cost you absolutely nothing. And since they all come at everybody's favorite price, it means you can play even more games than before. With everything from terrifying horror games to logical war games, why not try them all and see which ones are for you? It's not like it will cost you anything but a little RAM, and you might even discover a new favorite. The fortunes of this Battle Royale game have certainly turned around since it went free to play. Each warrior you unlock in Naraka Bladepoint has its own move set and powers, but you can also activate environmental traps to outwit your fellow rivals on the path to victory. If you're worried that this is just another one of those free games that you'll need to wait in a lobby for, then you can read our Naraka Bladepoint review from when the game made its debut. Also, at any given time, there are at least 250,000 players online in each 24-hour period. You'll always have someone to play against of a similar skill level, making for an intense match. So, did you like the games I recommended? So leave your like, subscribe to the channel to follow me, and activate the bell because I post a lot of videos on this channel and you can't miss it. I would like to remind you that in the description we have a list of different products that can make your gaming experience much better. If you want to buy, the link will be in the description. Anyway, thank you very much for following me this far, and until next time, bye.